Hey, it's me and I'm, oh, no, I'm just resuming what, no, hey, it's me and I'm JP the Antique Autistic, and this is part 5. So anyway, my dad died, and my daughter, who had been for years acting funny to me, started acting worse and worse and worse, and my mom kept calling me up and saying Jennifer was very ill, and I said, how's she ill? She's not ill. And they said mentally ill, and I said, no, she's not, she's wonderful. And she'd say, no, Vicky, you know, you did this, you did that, you spoiled and overindulged her. We always told you she would have problems because you just treated her like she was a little princess. And anyway, I just blew it off. But then my daughter was going to move in with my monster number 1 to save money for a house. And I still hadn't told her. I was afraid to tell her. I didn't know. I was like, does my daughter love me? Does she hate me? It was so horrible. And is she being just so influenced by them? I didn't know. And nobody still has even ever told me. And so all this stuff goes on. And a young minor family member was going through horrible disease. And I begged family members, please, you don't like me, but just come over and spend time with this person. And they wouldn't. And I mean, whatever. I was supportive for everyone. They never gave me support. It's just so typical of a scapegoat in a monster family. And I still don't know, like I spent all these years trying to rescue my daughter, or to see, or to figure out if really she just really never could stand me, because I was embarrassing, because I look weird and I'm so awkward and everything. So she was going to move into an apartment, but she'd already told monster number 1 that she'd move into her because she was going to save up money to buy a house. She decided to do the apartment instead. And so I kept saying, well, be sure to tell monster number 1, be sure to tell monster number 1. And she said, I will, and she never did. And so finally all hell hit. Monster number 1 was like, oh, I'm so hurt, even though she told me later that she'd known for weeks. So I don't know if this was all like a plan on their part, and that's the way they did it. And my mom said, my mom was saying, this is all your fault again, and she was saying, because you spoiled and overindulged her. We have all this on tape. I started taping things, and I had everything on tape about the horrible things they were saying, and laughing about how they had fooled Jennifer, and I was telling Jennifer, please listen to it, and she said, I don't want to, and she didn't. Which sounds more like she's always hated me, I guess. So, then, she said, oh, well, Jennifer hurts people, and it's because, like I said, you spoiled and overindulged her. And I was like, okay, I will defend anyone so much, but as soon as you say you've done something wrong, I'm like, oh, Jennifer must be messed up, and I must have done it, because everything's my fault, right? And so she's like, yeah, you did that, and you know what? This person was hurt, and that's because of the way you raised her. She hurt this person, that's because of the way you raised her. This person was hurt, and I was like, I didn't even know that. I didn't know all this stuff. And she said, yes. And she said, your daughter will never be happy unless you do something, unless you set her straight and let her know she's not. I don't know. And so I said, what can I do? She said, well, call her and tell her. And so I called, I made one phone call, one short little phone call, and I said, you know, Jennifer, you've got to stop hurting people. It's really not a good thing. I love you so much, but you got to stop hurting people. So I called my mom, and I said it was really, really terrible, but I did it, and I told her what I said, and she said, how's that going to help? And so the next day, because they had me convinced that totally convinced that, and oh God, I'm so stupid, that my daughter was mentally ill. I mean, it was like, my mom, she wouldn't lie, right? But my mommy, I know she was never nice, but my sister was sick, and so she took care of her. It's so, and I called and I left 27 minutes of messages. Honey, I love you, but you gotta stop hurting people. You're this person. Grandma told me about how you're this person, you're this person, you're this person, you're this person. And so then, Bobby called and he said, Jennifer just called, she's going to call the police and say that you threatened to kill her. And actually she called my granddaughter Xandra. No, she called Bobby. Bobby called called the phone, and he told Xandra, and Xandra said, the police are coming because Jennifer said that you threatened to kill her. So the police showed up, and I think my daughter was very shocked that they had to actually listen to the tapes, or maybe, I think, with how she'd been so confused by the monsters in my family, I think she maybe did believe that she heard that I was trying to kill her in there, but they listened, and of course there was nothing in there. And he sat me down and he tried to tell me that Jennifer was a psychopath, and I said, no, 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 my daughter is not a psychopath, but she has been horribly influenced by psychopaths. And I spent all these years. Then when I found out I had breast cancer, when I found out that I had breast cancer, I called my mom, because about 2 weeks before that, Jennifer had decided she didn't want to see me anymore because of Aunt Kim had made her see how bad I was. I mean, somebody had. And by the way, I've never been a drinker, I've never been a drugger, I've never been a screamer, I've never been a hitter, and even though I'm autistic and a lot of autistics aren't real huggy, I'm huggy, but I know I'm weird as hell. I'm weird as hell, and my daughter was so normal, and so I must have been a horrible embarrassment as a mother. But everything I did I did totally in love. My babies, my kids have always been my perseveration of giving them love that I never had. And so my mom, and so I tried to convince the police. The police were trying to get me to arrest her, and it's like, you don't understand. It's my family. My daughter's not this way, and she's not. Anyway, when I found I had breast cancer, I told Mom, please tell Jennifer I have breast cancer, and I really need her. I want her to go to the hospital with me when I have the mastectomy. You know, I understand she doesn't like me very much, but just, you know, like she would for a stranger or something. And my mom said, okay, and I said, you asked her, she goes, and my mom said, you said not to tell her. I said, Mom, I said to tell her, okay? They thought I had bladder cancer, I told you not to tell her. When they thought that I had bone cancer, I told you not to tell her. But since we know for sure it's cancer, if she'll be there, you know. And then my mom started saying, well, she just doesn't want, she just doesn't want to be there. And I'm not going to try to convince her. You're being very selfish, Vicki, because she really can't stand you. And so I almost canceled my mastectomy, because I knew I'd wake up and I would forget that my daughter wasn't going to be there, and I'd be so devastated. I almost canceled my mastectomy. And so what I did, and yes, I did lie here, I called and left a message for my daughter. I said, Jen, I faked breast cancer, so you don't need to come. And the next day I called her up and said, Jennifer, I just said I faked breast cancer because it hurts me so bad that you don't want to come. And so I had no family support. I did have to. And then the community that I was living in, they called, and one of them, I don't know, one of them was a nurse who was up, very knowledgeable, that could be any of three of them, said I was faking breast cancer. And many of them believed it. They were thinking, you know, she's autistic, they don't understand things. And they lie, they just lie. And so, basically this is all telling you, this is the end of this series. There's so much more. But I did end up wanting to kind of kill myself because I started believing their lies that I didn't have breast cancer. And so that all the other things they said must be true too. And so I am going, and so I'm going to end this series. We will be talking about this a lot. That's why I have to have the community, why it's so important, and why I want to put a lot of stress on PTSD and abuse in families because of autistics, because it happens so much. I'm so sorry, you guys. Bye.